There is a company that grows in its sales, where one employee named Cooper comes late to work. Cooper has a negative attitude toward his job, and his interaction with customers often results in mistakes. Cooper quickly attracts the attention of Morin, who is his superior, as a result of his consistent shortcomings and the strange behavior he shows. As a result of his unacceptable actions, Morin suddenly decides to end Cooper's employment at the company, and finally, he gets fired. A high-pitched sound that is unexpected penetrates the atmosphere in the middle of this tense turmoil, making Cooper and Morin fall into a very painful condition. Due to their inability to withstand the intensity of the sound, both of them lose consciousness. After a few days pass, Cooper finally wakes up only to find that his condition has undergone a significant transformation. At this point, insects have produced a thick web that covers the entire body of the people. When Cooper observes his surroundings, he realizes that a massive insect invasion with an evil plan to dominate the planet has already sacrificed the whole world. While in a weak state, Cooper looks around the office. During this investigation, he discovers an insect that comes down from the ceiling and attacks him. Cooper quickly stands up and takes an umbrella nearby, and he then uses the umbrella as a weapon to attack the dangerous creature. After facing the danger, Cooper shifts his focus to helping his colleagues who are trapped, including Morin, to escape from the prison of webs. After that, Morin regains consciousness and worries about her daughter, so she rushes out of the building, intending to find her daughter as soon as possible. After realizing the urgency of the situation, Cooper commits himself to checking on his daughter personally while urging Morin to put her safety as the main priority and stay inside. After finding her daughter, Sarah, Cooper struggles hard to free her from the prison of webs, which he finally succeeds in doing. However, the reunion turns into something unexpected when Sarah, who is disoriented and perceives Cooper as a threat, retaliates with pepper spray. While Morin is in panic, she rushes toward her car. But an insect that comes from the sky above quickly swoops down and captures her, and finally, she gets kidnapped. After this distressing incident, Cooper and Sarah find themselves chased by more and more insects. As a result of Sarah's quick thinking, she quickly concludes that these creatures rely on sound as their primary way of operating, using it to navigate and locate their prey. By utilizing this newly gained information, she swiftly turns on a car alarm, creating a distraction that diverts the insect's attention and uses the moment of chaos to bring Cooper to the nearest restaurant, where he will be safe. From the moment they step inside, the two of them come face to face with a diverse group of people who also seek refuge from the relentless swarm of insects. These people include Cindy, Lee, Hugo, who is deaf, and his father, Albert, as well as PJ, Roger, and Tom. During their time together, they have a conversation where they discuss and plan strategies about the most efficient way to escape from the persistent insects. Assuming a position of authority, Tom asserts that the wisest action is for everyone to stay in their current location and refrain from drawing attention to themselves. However, only a few people agree, because both Roger and PJ decide to take matters into their own hands, even though other members of the group already warn and advise them not to do it. They quickly get into Roger's car with the intention of escaping the situation, but their plan turns into disaster. Not long after the engine starts, an insect viciously attacks Roger, causing his car to spin out of control, and he loses control. In an attempt to save himself, PJ decides to jump out of the moving car, but his decision soon turns tragic, and finally, he gets run over. Meanwhile, a cunning insect attacks Tom, and finally he dies. With no other choice, the survivors conclude that they must escape and take shelter inside the nearest building. From a new vantage point they find on top of the building, the group realizes their fear as they witness an enormous swarm of insects gathering at their location for the first time. At this crucial moment, Lee makes a significant realization. These insects are actually blind, and they navigate only through the use of sound. Taking advantage of this opportunity, the group devises a strategy to use a radio sound as bait to capture one of the insects. After successfully capturing an insect, Lee suggests the possibility of obtaining venom from the creature for further research. As night falls, she shares her discovery with the other group members, revealing that the venom contains a sedative designed to weaken its prey in a protein that comes directly from its queen. This provides a glimmer of hope for understanding and combating these terrifying creatures. After much consideration and planning, the group concludes that they must embark on a dangerous journey to the nearest military base, hoping to find shelter and assistance there. They also intend to stop at the homes of each family along the way, aiming to ensure the safety of their loved ones. For the time being, they decide to spend time inside the building, where they will take turns protecting themselves from the insects, while the other members of the group rest. As they prepare for the coming night, Cooper finds himself struggling with increasing feelings towards Sarah. During Cooper's night watch, Cindy approaches him. Although Cindy is honest about her feelings for Cooper, she experiences a gentle rejection because Cooper seems to have his eyes set on Sarah. As dawn begins to break and everyone in the group prepares for the upcoming journey, Lee makes a bold choice. She decides to stay behind, as she is determined to continue her research on the insects, and she feels a responsibility to awaken as many survivors as possible. She believes that if she does this, she will be able to uncover crucial information that could help them fight the insects. After receiving Lee's approval, the remaining group members stay committed to their initial plan and continue their journey toward the military base. The first place they go is Hugo and Albert's residence, where they plan to check on Hugo's mother and make sure she is safe. The group arrives at Hugo's residence and discovers a deep atmosphere of grief because Hugo's mother has already passed away. After this terrible event, Albert is able to find the strength he needs within himself after struggling with his own emotions. He takes a rifle, prepares himself to face any difficulties that may lie ahead, and urges the group to move forward because he knows they cannot waste time. Their next stop is Cindy's house, where they intend to check the condition of her brother Chad and her sister-in-law. In a hurry, Cindy starts to work, and she succeeds in awakening her sister-in-law from his slumber inside the insect web. However, their relief only lasts for a moment, because Chad, who has already undergone a terrifying transformation into a creature resembling an insect, suddenly appears violently before them. Filled with rage, Chad launches a vicious assault, which eventually results in the death of the sister by stabbing her. Chad throws the group into chaos, captures Cindy, and knocks Sarah unconscious. Cooper acts bravely and saves Cindy just in time, but he does it at the cost of himself, and finally his leg gets stabbed. Hugo and Albert manage to end the immediate threat by putting Chad under control, and finally, he dies. Exhausted and in need of rest, the group decides to spend the night in Cindy's house. Once again showing her medical expertise, Sarah helps Cooper by stitching his wound, giving him the critical care he needs. While this happens, Albert suddenly suffers pain in his stomach, which is a worrying sign indicating that he may undergo a mutation similar to what Chad experienced. Later, Cindy, still struggling with her feelings toward Cooper, decides to visit him. But on this occasion, Cooper speaks frankly and explains that he does not have any romantic interest in a relationship with Cindy. His honesty leaves Cindy hurt as well as angry, adding another layer of tension to the group's dynamics. That morning, as the sun rises, the group gathers their strength and continues their journey, now heading toward the residence of Cooper's father. During the trip, Sarah communicates her thoughts to Cooper, revealing her belief that her mother, Maureen, may still be alive and possibly kept somewhere by the insects in their nest. She tells Cooper about her intention, revealing that she does not plan to go to the military base after their visit with his father. Instead, she is determined to take a bold and risky step to uncover the truth and hopefully find her mother. The sudden appearance of a swarm of insects in the sky above the group causes panic and chaos among those present. But the group is able to find shelter under a nearby bridge quickly and efficiently, aiming to stay hidden from the insect sight and avoid their attention. During this tense situation, Cooper and Sarah instinctively hold hands. As a result, Cindy is overwhelmed with jealousy when she witnesses this moment unfold before her eyes. So she suddenly emerges from their hiding place and begins to scream, unable to contain her emotions. Through her actions, she places everyone in a dangerous situation. After realizing the seriousness of the situation, Albert takes quick action by shooting Cindy to put an end to her irrational behavior. And finally, she dies. Even though Cindy is stopped, the gunshot echoes through the air, attracting the attention of the insects. Because of the chaos that happens, Sarah gets captured by one of the insects, and finally, she gets kidnapped. The three who remain, Cooper, Hugo, and Albert, continue to move forward until they arrive at Cooper's residence. They do it with heavy hearts, and the weight of the recent events presses on them. Cooper's father, Ethan, welcomes them warmly into his home at that moment. But the atmosphere suddenly changes when Albert mutates while they are talking over a meal. With no other choice, Hugo decides to shoot Albert to protect the others, and finally, he dies. The sound attracts the attention of other insects, which then enter through the window. Through quick thinking and the use of a taser, Ethan manages to eliminate it, and finally, the insect gets splattered. But because the splatter makes a loud noise, more insects begin to gather at their location, causing Cooper and the others to panic. To protect themselves from the insect attack, the three, led by Ethan, make a hurried move to the shelter he has long maintained. A restless night in the bunker is spent trying to process the day's events and deciding what must be done next. Driven by a strong sense of responsibility and determination, Cooper tries to convince Ethan to accompany him to the insect nest to rescue Sarah in the morning. However, Ethan realizes that the idea is a doomed mission and voices his concerns about it, so he firmly opposes the idea. As a result of his frustration and anger, Cooper decides to leave the comfort of the house and go alone. Before he leaves, he turns to Hugo and gives him advice that he must stay with Ethan, because he believes that during these hard times, remaining with Ethan is the safer choice for the boy. As Cooper walks toward the insect nest, he unexpectedly comes face to face with a fully armed man in a mysterious state. Soon after, he finds himself imprisoned inside the walls of an improvised jail. The armed group is convinced that Cooper is infected and will mutate, despite their suspicions and paranoia. Cooper's situation improves when he meets an old man in his cell, and this wise figure shares a compelling story about Lee, a brave woman who was able to save him and several others from the deadly grip of the insects. An unexpected event leads to the capture and imprisonment of Hugo and Ethan, along with Cooper, and it turns out Ethan has once been stung before, which drives him to take a young woman hostage and demand their release from the armed group. Just as the level of tension reaches its peak, the old man in the cell undergoes a transformation into a mutant creature and begins to attack the young woman. Hugo and Cooper are both saved as a result of Ethan's brave assault, together with other members of the armed group. Once reunited, the three decide to take part in Cooper's initial plan. As they prepare for the decisive assault, they arm themselves with weapons and bombs they have seized from the armed group. They choose to ride bicycles instead of going on foot to save precious time, and they head toward the insect nest, which is the source of the greatest danger. Deep inside the nest, Sarah slowly starts to regain consciousness, only to face a horrifying sight. She witnesses the bizarre insect queen devouring insect-wrapped corpses. After going through the dangerous journey, Cooper, Hugo, and Ethan finally arrive at the massive insect nest before continuing their mission. In a short time, they devise a plan, deciding to place the bomb strategically around the area with one purpose: to wipe out the insects and end their terror forever. It is undeniable that Ethan suffers stomach pain in the intense moments that follow, which is a clear indication that a mutation will soon occur. After realizing that time is essential and his change cannot be avoided, Ethan makes a quick and selfless decision. After securing Cooper to a tree and knocking Hugo unconscious, he decides to sacrifice himself to destroy the insect nest. Ethan bravely enters the core of the nest, leaving the key to be used by Cooper and Hugo when they want to escape. Inside the nest, he meets Sarah, who immediately leads him to the location of the Queen's lair. After they regain consciousness, Cooper and Hugo do not waste time heading toward the nest. Their determination and strong desire to help drive them forward. Just in time to witness the beginning of the fierce battle against the Queen, they are able to find Ethan at that very moment. When the insect queen senses danger, she emits a piercing and high-pitched sound. It turns out this very sound is what makes Cooper and Morn suffer ear pain at the beginning of the film, giving the insects the chance to wrap them in webs when they're already weakened, before eventually sending them to be fed to the Queen. Through this horrific process, she is able to produce more eggs, which in turn allows her to generate more insects, and all of this is part of their grand plan to conquer the entire planet. After the loud sound attracts the attention of the other insects, Hugo is the only member of the group who can protect himself from the sonic assault of the insect queen, because he is deaf. When the sound greatly burdens the other members of the group, Hugo bravely throws a bomb directly into the queen's mouth. Aware of the stakes and the limited time, Ethan strongly urges the three to leave and insists on detonating the bomb himself. However, when they prepare to escape, Ethan's mutation manifests, transforming him into half-human and half-insect. Faced with an incredibly difficult decision, Cooper decides to take the responsibility of pressing the detonator, sacrificing his father to ensure the destruction of the Queen, and finally, he dies as well. The explosion shakes the nest, but just in time, Sarah and Hugo manage to pull Cooper away from the nest and into safety. After several days pass, Cooper finds himself lying in a hospital bed, where Hugo and Sarah are by his side as he begins to regain consciousness. Infestation movie ends with the group having successfully ended the insect invasion, thereby ensuring the safety of humanity, and finally, they witness something that appears to shock them. Make sure to subscribe and turn on notification so you don't miss the latest recaps.